So we'll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Want to make sure.
Oh, shh. It's a smoker. It's a smoker. It's a smoker. They're heading left. So welcome back to the gameplay portion of the Endwar recap. As it was last year, the staging area was held in the Student Union at UNC Charlotte's campus. So my Airbnb group of Nick, Sebastian, and Chris got to the venue a bit early than start time because we really had a lot to do. Nico, who I've done every Endwar with to this point, was not able to do Endwar with us because he was going to be a mod this year. And then when Nick got there the night before, he was recruited to be another mod. Luckily, right before the event started, Nick was able to kind of like weasel his way out of being a mod, so he rejoined our team, which is great. We needed him. We also just showed up early because last year we were set up into smaller kind of study rooms instead of like a big venue. So I wanted to figure out which room had some good people in so we could get there first before it got filled up and then we couldn't go in there. But luckily this year, it was in I think the 3rd or 4th floor, whatever the highest floor was, in a giant banquet hall where all the humans were able to be together again, which was great. I loved it for the morale. That was nice. And we were able to find a spot right next to the Detroit Dartworks kind of crew. And I was like, perfect. They are a great group of people. So I knew I could go over there and hopefully they'd find a spot for me. And luckily they did. They were like, absolutely, join our team. So during registration at FoamCon, I registered my Aeon Pro, got that all checked. Added another zip tie to the collection. I'm starting to run out of room for these things, so either I gotta use a different blaster in the future or maybe start replacing some of these. I had the same battle belt I had last year, but this year I had some new mag holders I printed, which are a combination of the Speed Sloth mag holders that Anthony C designed and some clips from Nathani of Ennis Arms, another person I do the Dart Jam podcast with, and his spindle mag holders. So these came out great. And then I bought a new hydration pack for this event, a 3-liter hydration pack from 511 Tactical, which is way overkill, to be honest. But I liked it because I could put all these patches on the back here, and I had some Molly webbing that I could add a little pouch here for all my camera gear, all my batteries and chargers. And this thing ended up being super clutch for the event. I ended up using so much water, and everyone really liked the patches and stuff. I had some cool photos of that too. So that's basically it. I had a hat that had the Southeast Slugs logo on it. That was cool, and mostly, same camera gear I've had in previous years. Shortly after getting settled, we headed into one of the extra rooms for the initial Endwar rules briefing hosted by Wormy, which was a condensed intro and safety briefing for the entire event. So I thought that was really smart. They were rolling in about like 50 people at a time, about 20-minute intervals. Everything was like seeming really, really efficient. As I had mentioned prior, everything this year was safari themed. And I think they did a really good job, from the bandanas to the pamphlet they gave out for every player who registered. So again, shout out to Wormy, who was kind of, I think, the main event organizer this year. She helped me a lot get my map I was designing accurate and kind of helped me with like physical pictures she run around campus to make sure everything was as accurate as possible. They produced their own pamphlet for the event, so it's all, safari themed. It has important info about, when registration happens, what happens for first aid. There's a hydration station, restrooms, parking, the player's handbook with a QR code, and then the event schedule. All the missions were located here, and then on the inside was my map I designed. So every player got this. It felt like a really cool piece of merchandise, but it also was a legitimate thing that made this event feel like a real invitational and had some really useful information for every player, zombie or human. So I'm glad y'all made this. This is really cool. So before I go into the objectives and the narrative for this year, I'll quickly go over some of the major rule changes for this year's event. The largest addition to this year's Endwar was the bushwhacking mechanic, which I think is, again, along the line of the safari themed. The concept was that all trails and footpaths around campus were contained within the jungle and could be traversed after they were bushwhacked into a walkable path. Otherwise, if we went on any walkway that wasn't bushwhacked, the jungle would swallow us up and turn us into a zombie. So in order to clear those paths, groups needed to use flagging tape provided by the event organizers to make walkable paths, and use duct tape also provided to secure them to the ground. In order for a path to be cleared, 2 parallel strips of flagging tape had to be placed on either border of the walking path before the group could move forward. The job of placing flagging tape had to be done by 2 separate humans, and then there would be a third human who would hold the duct tape and then provide that duct tape to the people who were flagging that down so they could secure it. Once both lines of flagging tape were properly secured to the ground, the entire group could now traverse up to the point that was just duct tape. So the meta here was that you wanted to bushwhack in like smaller increments, maybe 10, 15, 20 feet away from your main group, so they could still give you covering fire from wherever they were still standing. Because otherwise, if you went way too far, maybe 50, 100 feet out, and you were, bushwhacking with your other teammate, you might have a group of zombies behind a bush or something out there. They might ambush you, and your group might be too far away to give covering fire. And I mean, you still had a blaster, but if you got like 15 zombies attacking you, then you're screwed. So it seemed like a lot of groups figured out that meta pretty quickly. The only paths that wouldn't require bushwhacking were all the paths directly adjacent to a main road. Those you could walk on freely, but the roads themselves were treated as rivers for the event and would turn you into a zombie immediately if you walked on one without using a crosswalk. Those were also treated as bridges. So I guess if you walked into the water, it would sweep you away and turn you into a zombie somewhere. I don't know, the logic kind of falls apart in that, but at least people knew that if they stepped onto the road, it was a bad time. Special zombies were back this year, and in a big way. There were 3 separate tank variants this year who could be tagged with specialty ammo. Sometimes tanks have a movement mechanic, but I think tanks could move freely this year. But basically they had hazard vests that signified which variant they were. Tanks with a yellow hazard vest could only be stunned by sock grenades. Tanks with a blue hazard vest could only be stunned with Mega XL darts. And tanks with a pink vest can only be stunned by missiles. Tank variants were slowly added into missions as the Invitational progressed, and I'll let you know that when we talk about missions specifically. Boomers have also been reintroduced this year, and were identifiable by their 6-foot-long PVC pipe pole with a pool noodle at the end. While active as a zombie, they could boom by yelling that out, while waving their pole in the air for 30 seconds. Any stunned zombie in the vicinity could high-five that boomer and could respawn instantly during that 30-second interval. Boomers could be stunned like normal zombies when not in their boom phase, and required double the respawn time after their boom phase ended. Smokers are also back, which I mistakenly called spitters last year, and were a favorite of mine. Smokers are really easy to understand. They have those soft dodgeballs that they could throw at humans. Normally, in other events that I've seen, the dodgeballs, if they tag you, it's some sort of stun mechanic and you can't move. But something that was introduced last year is if the smoker ball tags you, it immediately turns you into a zombie, which adds such a higher level of difficulty that I think everyone really enjoyed. And I think it's cool because it gives the zombies an aerial attack, which they don't have. So you're always looking out for the smoker. And that's always things that people call out because it's a huge danger for your party if you see one. A big addition to that, though, was that players this year could use their blasters to block incoming dodgeballs. To make that clear, if I had my blaster, I could kind of block with it like this, but they didn't want me to wildly swing out like that, which again, I could possibly hit a human, I could possibly hit a zombie that way. It's just a safety thing, so it's smart for them to make that distinction. And finally, there were pool noodle zombies and shield zombies, which are also called guardian zombies for this event. These are a staple special zombie group in most HvZ invitationals, and obviously Endwar is no different. These show up in much higher frequency and are just a slight buff to your regular zombie roll. OZs this year, or original zombies, had their own task which provided a chance to delay the turning of humans once they got tagged. How this worked is they had 4 playing cards in Mission 1 that on one side were a normal playing card and on the other side were painted a full color, and that was either white, black, red, or blue. When an OZ tagged a human, they fanned those cards and allowed the human to pick one of those cards. Whichever card they picked designated when they turn into a zombie later in the day. It could be well into Mission 2, or it could be immediately. OZs would continue this method with other players until they got at least 3 tags or ran out of cards, which would allow them to return to the human side once that mission was over. Or they could stay as a zombie for the rest of the day, which a lot of the OCs ended up doing because they really enjoyed being a zombie this year. I really like this mechanic because it gave humans who got tagged the earliest in the day an opportunity to get a little bit more time in as a human before they entered their zombie role. A lot of people spend a lot of money in their blasters, travel a really long way, wait a whole year to team up with their buddies for this event. So it's really cool that you gave a little bit more time to have them have that experience before, again, joining the zombies. A lot of what I'm explaining here was also in the Endwar briefing, so I'm kind of summarizing that here as well. So with that finally out of the way, we headed back to the staging area to hear the story introduction of Endwar, as well as the mission objective for Mission 1. This year's event built its story months ahead of time on the Endwar website blog. They had these really cool blog posts about poachers and the fictional company of Geotree. which they designed the funky little logo for. I got a pin in FoamCon. I don't remember if they were like preserving the jungle or poaching the jungle, whatever it was, but I'll have some pictures of the blogs here. They looked really great. So essentially what happened is overnight, the jungle had an explosion in foliage growth and kind of took over everything. So it was our job to rescue some of the Geotree employees that were still out in the field and some of the supplies that were still left out there and bring them back to the facility. And the facility, I guess, was the student union. I don't know if that was established very well, but that's what I assume was the case. Before the event even started, each human player was asked to join a certain role on Discord. You could have a scientist role, a security role, or a tourist role. We wouldn't really know what these roles would entail until later during missions. One thing that was a change this year is that each group of humans that left the student union would be escorted by a mod at all times that would help in guiding groups around, monitoring behavior and safety, and I think also just helping us in the direction of where the mission objective was. I was told after the fact that this is mainly a UNCC administration and security decision to have all groups monitored by COG team members. For the same reasons, the zombies also had a dedicated mod that helped in their organization and movement, which I also thought was a dramatic change this year, but in a really, really great way. I'll touch on this later, but I thought it greatly improved the morale of zombies and their efficiency in getting tags. So for Mission 1, we officially started around 11:30 and it ended at 12:15. I think we were supposed to have like a 10:30 start time. So it's starting to become a running theme that, we constantly start Endwar a little bit later than we're supposed to. Be nice if we were a little bit more efficient with that, but honestly for me, I'm someone who's not super efficient with my start time on things, so I probably wouldn't have been ready at 10:30 anyway, so whatever. To start everything off, we were told to divide the room into 12 groups with a moderator per each group. Each group was allowed to carry at most 10 rolls of flagging tape and a roll of duct tape to do all of the bushwhacking that we would need to do, and we were also told to do as much bushwhacking as possible during Mission 1. Groups 1 through 4 volunteered for a rescue mission, and they were given locations on campus of a Geotree employee that would need rescuing and would also need to be returned back to the student union, which is the Geotree facility. A 5th group volunteered for a mercenary objective to retrieve 4 pieces of mining supplies within a mining camp location, and all of those supplies were to be brought back to the Geotree facility, which was the student union. Finally, the remaining groups, which is the groups 6 through 12, which our group was a part of, were given the locations of 7 zones on campus to search for various survival supplies. Our group was given Zone 4 to patrol and find at least 6 pieces of field rations that we would need before returning to the student union. So we, because of that, we had a staggered start. Groups 1 through 4 left first, and then I think group 5 left, and then 6 through 12 staggered after that. Alana was our moderator, so she was like, I need a slow group. And Alex was like, oh, no, that's us. Because Alex, I think their group usually runs with a slower meta. So he was like, come with us. And I was happy for that because Alana's a really great moderator. She moderated some of my missions from last year. Because we were a mix of a few different groups, we were all in like just one large conglomerate. We had, I guess, our kind of group that we don't have a name. Nick, me, Sebastian now, Chris. We also had some cool people like Broadcast Zach and his wife Kristen, who I met before this all started, as well as Alex and Adam from Detroit Dart Talk and a lot of their friends, Scotty, Brain, and Kevin. We also had Randall, who's a member of the Atlanta Blaster Club, as well as some other people I didn't get the names of, unfortunately, but Alex decided to give us the Brotroit Friends & Co. group name for the majority of the event, which I think is silly anyway, because, I think Alex lives in South Carolina now, or at least is from there, and I think Eric is, and I'm from South Carolina, so I don't know. I think we should have been like Bro Carolina Friends & Co. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they were right. Maybe Brotroit Friends & Co. sounds a little bit better. But so with that out of the way, we were ready to go. Leaving Student Union was what I assumed was going to be easy going. Since we were one of the last groups leaving the building, I assumed all the zombies would be following groups that had left before. But we were actually met with a serious issue right out of the gate.
No.
All right.
Whoa, wait. If there's specials, I want blasters. I thought this was safe zone.
So why are they telling us we need to take the plane back?
Yeah, I thought this was a safe zone too.
The back patio is technically over there. This does not exit onto
Apparently, the
patio.
group in front of us that left through the side door thought that it was the back door and assumed that was a safe zone for humans to leave, and we all thought there was going to be limited special zombies in Mission 1. But here it was, the entire horde of zombies was waiting for this group with a ton of specials, and had already, by the time we had got there, eliminated I think half their groups. There's a lot of yelling, a lot of kind of hostility, things are getting a little tense, so our mod stepped in to try to make sense of it all, so we were glad to let Alana take care of it.
There's sock only zombies right here.
Drama.
If it's sock, all right. Yellow vest is socks. I have socks.
So the main issue was, again, is that the humans thought that they were in a safe zone, which I don't think that even existed, but if it did, they weren't in the right zone. And the zombies there left super early before they heard the last minute change that there were going to be no specials other than the yellow vested sock tank and smokers. I'm not sure exactly how many specials were outside, but there was at least a boomer and some extra tanks that weren't supposed to be a part of this mission. So in my mind, I felt like penalties decline, reset on downs. Mod just let them restart from where they were, let the humans who got tagged rejoin their human team, and then just tell the zombies to like give them some space, let them start. And then they just got out of the venue, you know. And thank God for that, because again, the zombies were like, cool, we'll move on somewhere else. They let that human group leave, and then it allowed us, the next human group, to leave without any zombies in our way, which was a sigh of relief for our group.
We're going back up.
Deal.
Okay, I'm spelling
Also,
3,
front
2,
patio is
1.
safe zone. Front patio and back patio are safe zone.
Can we hit the robot? We need to figure out where we start trailblazing.
Zombies up ahead. We need to go up to the street.
Can we take can we go that way though, just to get that way?
Map.
So it takes us up towards the like kind of tree ones, and then you can come back down to science and go this way. So it goes up and goes down.
All right, hey. I think we should stay on this side till we get up.
Yeah, I agree. Because we can always peel back that way if we need to.
Spud is official. Road Choice Friends, Spud Co. Navigation Master Extraordinaire.
You guys are just the muscle.
Because our zone was in the far right perimeter of the play area, we decided it was best to walk along the path beside the road and begin bushwhacking at the corner of our zone and move outward to cover ground more efficiently while bushwhacking, as well as avoid being closer to the kill box area, which we knew was a hotspot for zombie activity.
Is that zombies or?
Bush. Is that?
That's a trailblaze. They're trailblazing.
Is there a trail to the left up there?
I think they've already started trailblazing there, and that's where we need to go.
Part of our zone.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah,
we'll take it.
I'm assuming that is not one of the resource groups. Because I think the other groups took off.
No, they might have been an early group that left. Yeah, one of the first 5
The resource
groups.
group really wouldn't be in other people's zones.
Yeah.
We're gonna make sure we hit the main.
Enjoying the jungle trek. Gentlemen.
You want to go around the corner, cut in, or cut here?
Well, it's already trailblazed.
I mean,
Or bushwhacked.
Wait for the.
There's a zombie to the left.
We could potentially go in on that bushwhack trail and bushwhack.
Oh, it's Nick. Okay, it's a mud.
Oh!
Shh, voices.
All right, trailblazers.
Yo, ready? Your ends are relatively secured, and then the middle part's just.
Everyone else, keep an eye on your everything.
Well, that's kind of why I want I want a few people up here with like Vanguard, so that if they're up ahead, they can just run and
Yeah.
we can move.
Can you just drop the flagging tape and run back if you're doing this?
You could. I mean, it would make more sense to hold it and just pull your trail back at that point.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I thought was.
nice.
Just we're gonna cut this, and then we're gonna link to that trail.
Well, it doesn't lead onto the road from there. You can't get back onto the road.
There's a walkway.
It doesn't lead onto the road though.
So this.
Hang on.
The only reason we would need to is if we need to go to greenhouse, but you can't access the road from here. Yes, you can. I don't know why I said that. It says so on the map. The map I created, that there is a trail that joins back onto the main road there. And when I was helping to clean up the campus on Sunday, sure enough, there was a ration box we missed by not trailblazing over there. So whoops. Sorry, team. That's on me.
While we are unprotested, I would like to
We can't get past him. We can actually be right behind him, she said. Because he is the active taper.
Just a heads up, we were still trying to figure out the ins and outs of the bushwhacking mechanic in Mission 1. We figure it out later on, but if it looks like we're not bushwhacking properly as per the animation earlier in the video, that's why.
I got next one. Here you go.
Thought we
I
were
don't know
in
who
some
came
trouble.
through this area, but I appreciate them.
There was another group that just like yeeted through here real quick.
It was the group we saw.
All right, real quick. But do we want to connect the road up there from that point, or are we good?
It might not be a bad call, but we also can go through tables and it comes back. So
Yeah, let's do that.
Get your survival supplies, and they are in this area.
Yeah, we're gonna keep pushing this one.
knowing the group we had passed had already bushwhacked through the walking path on the right of Cameron, bushwhacking the adjacent path on the left of greenhouses would give us a nice loop if we needed to kite zombies. So our goal was to connect those two paths and then have a loop back onto the main walkway adjacent
With
to the
something
road.
like a trash can or table in the middle of the path. Zombies down there. There's a guy just walked around the far building on the left. Okay, hey.
Which way, left or right? You said left?
Go around.
Okay.
All the way down there with the green and then left.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I see. They're heading the opposite way. They're heading back towards Memorial.
Yeah, I don't know if
Let's not be.
So we can go this way and swing back and get greenhouse.
Yeah,
Hey.
I want us to cut a path up here and around this
Wait, hold
table.
on
Yeah,
now.
yeah, around where Globe
Zombies
is.
back over there.
Yes.
But if we do it quick, we can come back around this way and then
If
avoid
we
it.
can hold this area, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Because while the big paths like that are super important, later in the day when things are getting squirrely, if we're still alive and human, we want to be able to not get funneled into a kill channel.
Yeah. So to explain what Alex was kind of talking about there, since we knew tables was an area the event organizers like to use, we really wanted to bushwhack this area thoroughly for future missions. Instead of being cornered on a bushwhack path by zombies that just kind of terminated at one spot, every time we were bushwhacking, we wanted to loop back to a previously bushwhacked path wherever possible, so that if any group ran into issues with zombies, they could kind of kite them around in a circular pattern, and then move to a safer spot on campus to escape. All right, so that road crosses over diagonally and then goes, so actually we don't even really need to worry too much about Memorial. I think it's probably already...
We've got taped lines up there.
Yeah. And it continues up, yeah. So we can either go left now and circle back to greenhouse, or we could just do this real quick and then have a good circle if we need to kite. Yeah.
We're going right, and then we're gonna come back and do this to the road.
Yeah.
Need more tape.
No, let's go. Let's do the staircase over there.
Yeah, we're moving this way. We're moving this way.
I think the road.
The road's right there.
The road's just past.
It's
the
these stairs
now.
lead right to it.
All good.
Yeah, they're just.
I think for us. All right.
Let me double check.
Lasagna? It really ended up being a good idea. We took this path anyway because it led to our first supply ration.
I get hungry sometimes, and so I would like lasagna. That makes
They
sense.
came into our.
Were you allowed
The jungle just threw that to us. Did you see
The jungle did.
Did you see it? I saw it sitting in the
do.
jungle and it levitated over.
Let me get a.
Insane.
Tossed it to us. We need 6 more, right?
So there are 6 more, but technically you would just need 5 more to be considered good.
Yeah, that's the. Just go down there because it's water.
Yeah. It is 12:15, so we have 45 more minutes.
Okay, perfect.
45 minutes.
Wow, we definitely started late. Wow. So if they were in our area and saw stuff to grab, are they grabbing it too or no?
They should not.
Okay. So they're moderated would tell
Hopefully
them.
their mods have told
Yeah.
them
Okay.
not.
Okay.
Well,
Really, the only people who should be coming through another group's area is going to be if they're on an escort mission, so they're not looking for it.
Gotcha. All right.
can you move it over here?
A lot of the strategy I knew for this year's Endwar wasn't just going to be in bushwhacking effectively, but also documenting that bushwhacking on the map that I designed. That way, at the end of each mission, or at least on your walkie-talkie during missions, you could possibly relay which paths you had bushwhacked, so the rest of the human groups in your faction could mark that on their map, so for later missions, they would know where they could travel, where they couldn't, and also what needed to be bushwhacked for the next mission and what didn't. There might be one up there, but let's...
We only have one up there.
Yeah. Little big guy. Good. A little hot. You recording right now?
I'm waiting for
Is that Incredibles? Just like, what are you doing here? I don't know. Just waiting for something awesome. Something cool. Yeah.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I don't know. Something amazing, I guess.
like, yeah, me too.
By swinging out to the east of our zone below McHenry and along the walking path adjacent to the main road, we could move a lot faster without needing to bushwhack that walking path and then get back into our zone at the bottom corner. So that way we weren't looking for supplies south and then having to move back up north and then get back to the student union. We could start from the very south instead, scan all the way through our zone, and by the time we were done scanning, which would also be when the mission timer would be up, we'd already be at Craver Road, which was already right by the student union, so our movement from that point on would be a lot easier.
I've been yelling at people to keep their voices down, and I'm here. Degenerate cheering.
I really hope that just keeps showing up on the video.
Humans versus zombies?
Oh my god.
Yeah, get in the shade, please. We're gonna
No, we will not be going over there. All of that's an open area anyway.
That's what I thought. This was
the
like
very edge of it.
This
We
is where
tried
we
to
were
limit
initially
our
talking
area
about cutting in, I think.
As soon as we got back to a walking path we had to bushwhack, we found our second field ration next to Fretwell.
Oh, perfect. I needed to make some fried chicken.
Is that what it is? Shake and bake?
We get 2.
No, it's panko. Panko breadcrumbs.
Ooh.
Move up.
I do love chicken.
We should have eyes in the patio too while we're doing this, just in case they...
Do you have another
Yeah,
one?
that's fair. Yeah, what's the stairwells coming up? Because the stairwell's on the other side, too.
All right, time check. It's 11:35. We have
If
until
we
12:50.
bushwhack it, we'd have to...
Okay.
Is our goal just to bushwhack this time? Grab supplies?
Grab supplies, yeah, and keep. So I mean, we could. I mean, at a certain point, we're gonna link up here. We could go to see how far this goes left, because that is in our area,
He was literally in the middle of the
and then see if there's any supplies, and then we can book it back because we know we have an exit plan.
Yeah. Once we get to the path, we should just focus on scouting the area that's already bushwhacked for a second,
Yeah.
and we'll make cuts over off paths as we find them.
Yeah. I don't think we should. I think we should probably head back earlier than later because we don't want to be the last group.
We do
We
not.
want to be like the recipient
So we
for
need
all the
to-
collected zombies.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get eyes up for supplies. Eyes on the supplies, guys.
How many do we?
No, we don't.
There's 7. You only need
7.
6 for it to be considered.
So we need 4 more minimum.
So how many? 7 groups were looking. We have 2 already.
Well, no, that is
No,
per
per-
section.
oh,
Per section.
Per
Okay.
zone.
Okay.
So for our zone, there are 7.
So we can.
I want 3 people go down to where the brick wall is and keep eyes up. We're gonna put on a scout split for a hot second.
Alex then made a call to split up in a few different directions and search across the previously bushwhacked paths we skipped while going around Fretwell to look for any supply rations we may have missed.
back here.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Us against the horde.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to leave, like, probably, I mean, it's 3:45, I think. Yeah, 3:41. So, I mean, honestly, like 45 or 47, I might start meandering back.
Like, if we can't find them, we can't find them. But
Yeah.
it's better than us getting wiped at the gate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and especially right at the end of the mission would be really unfortunate.
Bottom of the green sign. Far end, straight on. Little object on the
Oh,
ground.
yeah, there is something.
She's going to check it out right now.
Okay.
That's 3.
Randall was doing a good job at finding these things. He was our guy with the eagle eyes. We have supplies there, and we're running out of time.
Did we confirm this?
Yeah.
Yes, we confirmed.
You find supplies over that way?
Yeah, there's it's a milk jug.
Is it that way? Or it's on the way back?
There.
So they're getting a supply here. You located 1 or more?
1.
Okay, we'll go get that one, and we are told that the others are all that way, which is kind of our strategy of get the edge, cut in a few, work our way back through the rest of the zone, and head back. We're going to try and limit the bushwhacking from now on and stay on pre-paths. Yeah, all right.
You passed it along.
Yeah, I did.
Good job. Good job.
I'm just letting you guys know because you were down there. We are going to avoid any more bushwhacking as best we can. Only bushwhacking to get to the supplies. This is number 3, so we need 3 more. 1 has been located. Stay on the patio.
It's 11:40.
And push off the patio and help people.
We gotta start moving. Time was starting to get a little low, and we didn't want to get stuck as the last group coming back to face the horde that would possibly be waiting for us. So I was constantly like on the timer, like, hey, Hey, we gotta start moving back. We gotta start thinking about moving back.
But Adam is with that group. Who knows where the supply is? He's fine. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Want to make sure.
Oh, shh. It's a smoker. It's a smoker. It's a smoker. They're heading left. All right, so they just went past Granger, so they're out of sight. They went left, so they're out of sight now.
You think they're circling back?
I think they might be. I don't know if they know where we are. They didn't see me.
Bushwhackers.
We can also hit that too if we feel like that's too, because we had to then hit that and then hit right as well.
Just to the right of this bush is the milk jug.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
Quick.
we need to bushwhack over here.
And then we connect back and then we just keep moving.
Thank you.
Actually, have people move out of the ice because you can see a couple quads away.
Back up.
Oh, shh. He doesn't see us.
You got tagged too.
I don't think he did.
That's smart.
He dropped his ball though. He didn't see us at all. He's moving that way, but careful because he's probably gonna start heading this way. Oh, Memorial's right here. Oh shit.
Yeah, I see his reflection. He's
Oh,
headed,
yeah.
I think this way along the building.
Yep.
Or maybe, actually, I think he's going that way.
He might be.
Yeah.
Either way, we gotta watch out for if he's gonna start swinging left.
To the right.
Where's the supply? Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Tape. We need a tape.
Oh, yeah.
We got tape. Okay. No, you're fine. If we tape it there. We got plenty.
Good throw.
Do we have a pink roll?
Do we go film it? I only have 4 deads.
I was about to say, we should have had 10.
Shit.
Anybody?
5, 6. I have 6 deads.
I have 7, and I have an 8 that I threw away earlier.
Okay, can we take this down at least?
No, it was actually.
Shit, we just need like 5
We'll use that one
feet.
twice. We'll use that one
Yeah.
Use the rest of that to cancel over here.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yep, I am counting this as good.
Cool.
It's 11:55.
Get you to that one.
All right.
Thank you.
20 minutes. We need a high tail.
Yep. And more survival.
5. Do we need one more? We need one more. All
You
right.
want to touch it?
We've already looked up here. We're going this way.
We didn't pushback this, did we? Someone else did?
Yeah.
Probably the escort mission.
Yeah, this was that.
Someone stuck a dart to that. That's cool. Leave it there.
Okay, guys. I gotta film this.
Should we abandon it at noon? It's 11:55.
I don't know.
We have last jug here anyway.
Yeah, I think so because we cannot bushwhack anymore.
If we see something out of our range.
I also know there's something that should be right up here as well.
Careful on that left. Remember, you can block balls with your blaster. Yeah, I'm gonna. They might have, but they're not supposed to. Watch it be just off path. Yeah, I think we might need to abandon this. I don't see anything. Yep.
Right down to that area, it's called Echo Star. There's a star in it, and literally standing there, you can hear shit from around all the buildings. we heard Spud's group getting fucking annihilated.
Did
Someone in our group goes, should we go help them?
Well, that was the thing. We got there second after our group was there, and Roger's like, "Come on, help them." We were like, "No," but eventually we had to. So I don't blame you.
I heard the initial group there.
Yeah, we got destroyed. We got destroyed.
Yes. We got it. So we didn't find anything up there?
We looked all around the fountain.
Then I am going to call us as good because that's our 5th thing that he's holding. And I don't know where they put the one. We went to it and we looked around. So I'm going to consider that a 6.
Okay.
So by my...
I looked through my recording a number of times and couldn't find where we found that 5th field ration. So I assumed it was either grabbed while everyone was a bit split up, or it was grabbed while we were gone in Belk Fountain. I know from after the event that there was supposed to be a field ration at Smith Triangle, and it's literally right up the road from us. And when we got back, Alana and part of our group were coming back from there, so I assume that's where it came from.
Sweet.
You do not have to find the last one. You can go back.
All right, so again, everyone just Spud, one year recommendation, push to the front door of the union, not the back.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not very helpful for us.
With that completed and being completely out of flagging tape, we did a great job bushwhacking. We returned back to the student union along the path we had already bushwhacked.
We're going to cross here, and we're going to go up the road.
Yeah, watch that turn, by the way.
Slice it real quick.
Huh?
Slice it real quick.
Yeah. Alright, we should be good. Oh, they're turning around. They're turning around, seeing us.
All right. Anyone with decent range rate of fire, get in the front. If we see a vest, please yell it out.
Eric and...
That's Eric.
That's the union right in front of us.
That is the union.
Shoots. Okay. I have to fight through this.
All right.
All right, so we got to bank on Eric being sick of everyone else.
Okay, thanks, Eric. Oh, they're tired. Look at that. They're trudging.
Wow.
They're trudging. I know. But we have to just trudge to there. They have to keep trudging at us.
Yeah.
Ryan, make sure you got rear.
They're starting to circle to the right.
Ray is also just alive.
I want to make that call officially when we get to the top of the crest right here, because we'll actually see what the front union looks like. If the front's mostly clear, I'm going to the front.
Listen to Alex. He'll tell us which way to go.
The front is a safer bet
What, you
because
don't
we
want
have
to
a
get
road.
Ray? He's only got
might-
2 rounds. Yeah, see?
Oh, wow.
He doesn't even go that far.
Ray.
How was he there the whole time with them?
I
What?
think they were just howling.
Because everyone expects Ray to have already been turned.
That's hilarious. Oh, it's about to happen. Oh, shit.
All right, we do have a...
We have one.
All of a sudden, we got like a wild card here, and like someone who's without a squad, who I figured out later was Ray the Unicorn guy. And he was just tagging people and was like, yeah, go ahead.
What?
It's
Is
like,
that Goblin?
who are you?
Look, it's half.
Yeah, we're good. We're pushing to the front door.
I'm helping.
Dude,
I'm Scotty.
that's so clutch. Alright,
Okay.
let's move.
Actually,
If you can conceal your blasters, you can go inside. Otherwise, you have to go in the back.
you know what? The back staircase is right there. Let's just do the back.
Alright. Appreciate it.
I was expecting more.
Thank you.
I was expecting more crazy. Watch the column.
Well, I mean, they might be holding out.
1, 2, 3, responding.
They're responding right there. Yeah. Yeah, take the wider path. Go around.
They were saying 3 on the 3.
Zombie on the right, respawn.
Okay, I want Kevin, take one person, eyes on him. Yep. Everybody else is going to be eyes on the column.
Take the right, yep.
Yep. There are 3, and there's 1 down the path. Kevin and 1 person have that. One other person. Watch your path. Watch your path.
Alright. Let's move. Ooh. Alright, keep going.
This is not. We could exit. Oh, okay.
This is the staircase that you guys are allowed to go in. Yep.
Hell yeah.
I got the door. You guys going?
All right. I'll do.
Is this an exposed blaster?
Yeah, we're good here. Good job, man.
Good shit.
We did it, Reddit!
Nice.
No death.
So we were all pumped. That was like a great mission to start. We did that very successfully. I mean, we didn't find everything, but we found enough. We did a great job for the human team.
Whoa!
You can't be up there. Let's push this way.
Headshot. Move, move.
Go! Get him!